Hey you guys, welcome back to the channel, and we have a new season of Married at First Sight Australia 2022. This is now season 9, and in this video we are going to meet our new brides and our new grooms and kind of talk about them a little bit and see what's going on with these new cast members. But before we jump into this, if you are new here, hit that subscribe button, turn on your notifications. If you like the video, smash that like button, and also feel free to drop a comment down in the comment section below. So, Married at First Sight Australia returns with a brand new cast for 2022 as a fresh batch of single hopefuls put their romantic future in the hands of this series and the experts. And like usual, it's going to be a mess, and I know most of you guys cannot wait. Again, like I said, the season is in its 9th season, and it definitely has some big shoes to fill because of what we saw in season 8. And even season 8 finale pulled in a whopping 1.4 viewers last year. Not to mention, it actually delivered on the real life love stories for once. We had 2 couples, Melissa Rawson and Bryce Ruthven, and Johnny, and I want to mispronounce his name, Babuziente and Carrie Knight, are still together 1 year after meeting on the show. So look like these particular experts got it right with those couples. Speaking of which, John Aiken, Mel Schilling, and Alessandra Rampolla, who replaced Trisha Stratford in 2021, will all be returning to their roles on the show as, of course, the experts. But the most important part of this season will, of course, be the new brides and groom, which we'll talk about in a minute, looking for love in somewhat a hopeless place. Man, I kind of sound like I quoted Rihanna there. But there are only 5 couples still together from Married at First Sight Australia previous 8 seasons. I thought Married at First Sight US was bad, but 5 out of 72 couples. May the odds ever be in their favors for the newbies. So what can we as fans look forward to seeing on screen this year? Well, there's a florist, a model, a hairstylist, business exec, and a DJ in the mix, and of course a social media influencer or 2. So let's jump in this and let's talk about these brides and grooms without further ado. Our first bride is Domenica, and she's 27, and she's described as a feisty Italian makeup artist. Now, Domenica, who goes by Dom, is loyal, outgoing. She's a passionate partner. And something interesting about her, she's been married once before. She's looking for a love that's going to last if she can break down her walls, though. Now, after being with her former partner for 4 years, Dom's first marriage lasted only 2 months and left her feeling like a failure when she made the decision to leave the relationship. Now, despite being scared to strike out again, Dom is definitely hoping to find chemistry with her next husband and finally have a big Italian family of her own. So we'll see who they're going to match her up with. Okay, next up is Ella, who is 27. She's based in Melbourne, and she's a beautician. And Ella Ding, which is her last name, was recognized from the first teaser with friendships with former Married at First Sight stars Michael and Sam. Now, she's described as hot and edgy. Ella is known as an unapologetic straight talker with slight tendency to overshare a little bit. And she also hates closed-minded and lazy guys. Cool. Now, having been single for 9 years, Ella wants to find someone who will be her best friend and biggest fan as she searches for a partner to do life with. Though they better bring their A game in the bedroom, because she believes a strong sexual connection is the marker of a healthy relationship. So that is going to be interesting to watch whenever we find out who she's paired with. Next up is Holly. She's 36. She manages a cinema. Holly is desperate to meet the love of her life so she can make her lifelong dream of becoming a mother come true. So she wants kids. Holly almost found her happily ever after with an ex, taking on the role of stepmother after falling in love with not only him but his kids. However, her dreams were dashed when he told her he didn't want any more children of their own together. Now, open and honest about her concerns about her biological clock, Holly has come to the experts for help in finding her Mr. Right. And she's hoping that they most definitely will deliver. And definitely she wants to deliver her own children. Hopefully they match her with someone who wants kids together as well. So we'll have to wait and see who they match her up with. Let's talk about 27-year-old Olivia. Now, she's a teaching student from New South Wales. She's sweet and bubbly. Olivia is seeking help from the experts to find a nice guy after finding herself constantly with the wrong type of man in her past. Now, taking a break from dating to care for her terminally ill father, Olivia says that her Saturday nights now consist of knitting and pretty much watching movies. She's got a lot of love to give, she says, but needs help in the self-confidence department to get out there again. Experts, you better not do Olivia dirty with her match. So we definitely got to watch and see who they put her with. Next up is Samantha. Now, Samantha's 26. She's a fashion brand manager. She has everything covered in the wardrobe department with her own fashion designs, taking up so much of her time that there's little time to focus on any type of romance. And, who could blame her? I mean, Samantha's last great love ended when she discovered her partner of 4 years, who she hoped to marry, had cheated on her. Wow. Now, that betrayal left her devastated, of course, and with serious trust issues when it comes to men. Now that she kind of built her confidence back up, Samantha has high expectations and knows it will take a lot for a new man to capture her heart. So yeah, this next guy is definitely going to have to climb some walls and gain her trust, and that ain't going to be easy. So I'll definitely like to see who they're going to pair her with. Next up is 32-year-old Celine. Now, she's a model. She's an executive assistant. And she will be going on her first date in 3 years when she walked down the aisle at Married at First Sight. Yikes. Yep, she's been single for a few years after welcoming her son back in 2019. So she has a child. Now, she's hoping to check her mom guilt at the door. Celine is hoping to find true love and a good man, and obviously a stepfather, by joining this marriage experiment. She wants to find a husband who's going to be honest, who's going to be faithful, and someone who will be on her and her son's team for life. So the question is, are they going to pair her up with a man who is ready to be a stepfather, especially if he don't already have kids? So we'll see how that is going to work out with whoever the show, matches her with. Let's talk about Miss Selena, who's 32. Now, if you recognize her face, she is the award-winning hairstylist that starred on the short-lived dating series called The Proposal, where she began a brief fling with former Love Island star Aaron Shaw. Now, she's a self-sufficient businesswoman with her own 4-bedroom house. She's looking for someone to build a life and raise a family within her home. She says that if her parents had their way, she would already been married to an older, wealthy Asian, she said. Now, out to prove them wrong by not only succeeding in her career, which she says made her the black sheep of the family, Selena is hoping the experts can also help her in her quest for true love. I'm wondering if they're going to pair her with someone who don't know everything about, the little bit of fame that she has. So I'm curious to see how that's going to play out and who the experts are going to match her with. So let's continue. And last but not least of our beautiful brides is Tamara, who's 29. She is based in Queensland as an operations manager. She describes herself as an alpha personality. Oh boy. So we're already keeping an eye on this young lady. She's financially independent. She owns her own home. She's successful in her career and incredibly ambitious. She has no interest in carrying her partner, which is good for her. And she needs a man who matches her energy and her drive. And apparently she gets bored easily by the guy she's dating and needs the help of the Married at First Sight experts in finding everlasting love with someone who can match her high expectations. This one is going to be interesting to watch because if the show is going to match her with someone that has so many high expectations, the question is that person that they choose going to even match that? So I don't know about this one. I'm looking forward to seeing what Miss Tamara is going to do with her match and how all that's going to work out and what the guy is going to do that they match her with. So let me know your thoughts on that one, guys. But let's talk about these grooms. Okay, our first groom is Al. He's 25. He's a carpenter from New South Wales. Al is described as cheeky and lovable. And another way to describe Al would be the stay-at-home son. He is still living with his parents, and his mom does his cooking, his cleaning, and his washing, and has never had a serious girlfriend. So he knows that it's time to now grow up. But Al's biggest roadblock in having a committed relationship is his fear of rejection, admitting that he is worried about what could happen when he turns around and sees his bride for the first time at the altar. So the question is whoever they're going to put him with, his bride, are they going to be able to deal with him in regards to the fact that he has never done anything pretty much for himself? His mom has done everything, and he has a fear of rejection. So obviously, maybe there's a little bit of insecurities there because he's worried about when he turn around and look at his bride, whether the bride is going to be interested in him or like him or how he looks. So I'm curious to see which one of those beautiful ladies they're going to put him with, and to see how all that meshed together. So let's continue. Next up is Andrew, and they call him larger than life Texan Andrew Davis, who also go by Tex. He'll be also joining the cast this year. Now, this guy has been twice divorced. He moved to Australia 4 years ago with his second wife. Now, while their marriage did not work out, they did amicably share custody of their 2-year-old daughter. So he has a child as well. He's hoping to find someone who can match his spontaneity and has a sense of humor. And he's also open and keen to have more children. So I'm curious to see who they're going to match him with. Are they going to match him with the bride who also already has a child, but I think she got a lot of high expectations? Or they're going to match him with one of the other brides who are most definitely open to having some children. So we'll definitely have to see who they match him up with. The only thing is about Australia, it looked like we'll get a surprise on who they match up with, whereas here with Married at First Sight in the U.S., they tell us early on who's coupled up with who. So that's the little bit difference, but I did want to go in and talk about each one of these cast members. Let's continue. Okay, let's talk about Anthony. He's 38, and when he's not on his 9-to-5 job, which is in sales, Anthony has a unique alter ego as a performer. His wrestling persona as Tommy Hellfire. He's an actor turned pro wrestler. Anthony is described as the quintessential swoon-worthy man born from romance novels. Okay. But if that's the case, why is he single? Anthony says he gets plenty of attention but finds himself pursuing the wrong women. He's looking for help from the experts to find a woman who can match his drive and his excitement for life. He also is keen to find the Morticia to my Gomez, but she must love kids as he's got a 9-year-old daughter. So that's a little bit different with Australia versus US. Most of the cast members that we've had in the 14 seasons of Married at First Sight here in the United States, none of them had children. They usually had their children after they got married down the line, because we have some Married at First Sight babies. However, Australia, their cast member have kids. So that's going to be interesting to see how that work out and how they match these folks up, especially if one of the spouses don't have kids. Are they going to match them with someone who do? But that is going to definitely keep it interesting. So we'll see who they match with Anthony. Let's continue. Let's talk about Brent. Now, he's an influencer who recently returned to Australia from his life in Dubai, where he worked for 7 years in events management. Now, having to return to Australia when the pandemic began and decimated the hospitality industry, Brent said his confidence definitely took a knock. Now, he's determined to rebuild his life back in Australia. He says that finding a life partner for him is key for him. Now, while his bio kind of indicate that he's sensitive and a non-judgmental guy, his requirement for a wife includes needing to have well-maintained feet at all times. Yeah, make of that what you will. So whoever he gets with, I guess, I don't know. I don't want to say too quickly. Maybe got a foot fetish, but they definitely have to have their feet well maintained. So hopefully one of the ladies who the experts have him paired with definitely is on top of their pedicures, or, keep their feet together. It'd be something if they throw a curveball and, don't put him with someone of what he's looking for. So that's going to be interesting to watch. Let's move on. Our next groom is Cody. He's 30, and he's a swim coach and a personal trainer. Now, Cody spent much of his 20s traveling the world and living a very adventurous life. Now it's time to put some romance first. He's described as very easygoing and wants a partner in crime. So we know he's written a few Tinder bios in his time online. He likes to spend the afternoon on the beach with his friends in Sydney, northern beaches, and wants to have someone to continue sharing those adventures with. Now, while he got some walls up, including being uncomfortable with PDA, Cody hopes his perfect person will love and accept him as he is. So hopefully they don't put him with a touchy-feely person and their love language is touch, personal touch, or whatever it's called. But he's not into the PDA and being out in public. Maybe he is touchy-feely behind closed doors, but public displays of affection is definitely not his thing. So it's going to be interesting who they're going to put him with, and if they also are okay with not doing the PDA thing. So let's talk about our next groom. Okay, let's talk about Jack Millar. He's 26. He's a financial planner. He's a DJ, and he's a dog dad. Jack is being described as charismatic, very likable guy who gets along with everyone. And I guess we'll definitely see if that all plays out when they have their first dinner party. Now, spending his weekdays on a 9-to-5 job, he wants to find someone who can share his passion of music and adventure on the weekends. He's looking for someone who is fun, passionate, and ready to give anything a try. So he seems pretty down to earth. Hopefully, if they can find a down-to-earth woman for him, he doesn't look like he has any children. He just has the dog. and the bride that they can match with him who also like dogs. And, you know, they both work regular 9 to 5s and want to spend time together on the weekend and do stuff. I don't see that's not too complicated. It'd be crazy if they put him with the one that has all those high expectations. That's going to be very interesting. But I guess we'll have to, again, wait and see who they are going to match him with. So let's move on. Okay, so now we have Jackson. He's 31. He's a plumber. He's from Victoria. And Jackson calls himself the class clown and is described as upbeat and outgoing. So it looks like he might have a sense of humor. Now, Jackson grew up as the oldest of 5 kids and took on the role of the protective older brother to his younger siblings and his mom. Protecting the family from violent stepfathers, Jackson was determined to ensure that the woman in his life is also going to be just as safe. So he's definitely on his being a protector. Now, because of his experiences, Jackson says that he has a deep respect for women and is looking for a committed relationship that he can nurture. So we definitely like to see that perfect gentleman type of side of him and how he's going to treat his new bride and the fact that he's a protector. So, I mean, he's definitely had experience protecting his mom and his siblings in the past. So look like he might be prepared to protect his new wife, which is a good thing. So we'll definitely have to wait and see who his match is going to be. And hopefully they're not extremely fiercely independent, because that's going to, I don't know how that's going to work. So we'll definitely see how that pans out. Let's move on to our next groom. And our last groom, but not least, is Mitch. He's 26. He's a financial planner and a model. He's also based in Queensland and claims to be tired of the online dating scene. Now, he's never spent no more than 2 consecutive nights with a girl in his entire life. Yikes. But says his party boy image isn't who he really is. Admitting the experts will have definitely their work cut out for them, Mitch joins the experiment to learn the tools to finding a genuinely committed relationship. So it's going to be interesting to watch with Mitch, because his situation is he never spent no more than 2 nights with a girl. So he's never been in any long-term relationship, not even past a week. So how is he going to be able to do this in a marriage situation? So hopefully he's here for the right reasons. I mean, and plus he has this party boy image. And you know how that works when, I mean, we do have maybe like our rarity, like Woody from Married at First Sight in the U.S. season 11, where he was this party boy and he turned husband, and he's still husband now, coming up their anniversary next month, 2 years now later. But, you know, it's going to be interesting if Mitch can actually, you know, be able to be committed past 2 days and put this party boy thing behind him. So we'll definitely have to see who Mitch put him with, because if they put him with a homebody or somebody that had like the other woman that had all these high expectations, it ain't gonna work. And I'm curious to see how the experts are going to match them, because as it says, yeah, they got their work cut out with Mitch, cut out for them with Mitch. So we'll definitely have to see. So there you have it. You have our brides, our grooms for season 9 of Married at First Sight, Australia 2022. The show will air on January 31st. I am definitely looking forward to it. Now, I am not sure that it's going to be the same format where it aired on Lifetime as it did in previous seasons. I do have access to 9 now, so I will be watching and doing recaps on the show. But I'm not sure if you don't have access, which 9 now is an Australian channel, whether or not you'll be able to see it, but I will do recaps on it. One thing I wanted to let you guys know of a fun fact, there are 3 versions. You have the US version, the UK version, and the Australia version. The interesting thing that's the difference between the Australian, UK, and US version is that the US version, they are legally married and have to go through an actual divorce, right? But with the Australian format, rather than legal marriages, the couples make a lifelong commitment to each other at this ceremony overseen by a wedding officiant or celebrant is what they call it, with guests and speeches and everything. And then, of course, with the UK version, those couples make a verbal commitment to one another, whether it be a legal one. So I did not know that. I thought they all go through legal marriages. It's just here in the U.S. where we see for the last 14 seasons that they actually have to go through a marriage and a legal divorce if they don't want to stay together. So I just wanted to share that fun fact with you guys. Let me know down in the comment section if you guys are going to watch, if you're going to try to watch. Check out the recaps that I will do on this season of Married at First Sight Australia 2022 season 9. And I want to know from you guys what you guys think of these brides and these grooms based on the information I provided to you. So I hope you enjoyed this video. Like, comment, and subscribe. And we will see you in the next one. Bye.